Hello and welcome to your monthly reintegration treatment. Welcome to the Innie, Outie cast with me, your host Daniel McKeown.
And me, your other host, Rhiannon Shaw.
This is the podcast talking about everything Severance, with going into theories, going into the ins and outs of how everything works, and getting to the bottom of what the hell those goats are about. As ever, we're joined by an incredible comedy guest. Please welcome Shalaka Kurup, everybody! Woo! Shalaka, how you doing?
I'm good, yeah, I'm good. Really good.
How did you first discover the Apple TV show Severance, do you think? Was there a moment, or was it just you heard recommendations, or when did it come into your life?
I was just on the internet, and I'm on the internet a lot, and there were people talking about it, and I was rewatching Parks and Rec, and I was like,
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Need more Adam Scott in my life.
We need more depressed Ben to
yeah,
get it going.
So good.
Yeah.
I'll watch anything. He could read the library book, phone book.
He's a real fitty on Parks and Rec as well. I feel like, especially as the seasons goes on, he gets like hotter.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of lean in. And I feel like on this show, he's actively fighting his hotness a little bit more.
I think the sadder he gets on Severance, the hotter he gets.
You like a sad...
When he gets like sadder and sadder, and he has like those bags under his eyes, I'm like,
He's crying in the
He hasn't
corner.
slept, and
like, oh yes, destroyed.
You need just a devastated man to sweep up and put back together in your own image.
I can fix him.
Oh man. That's actually a question maybe for the group. Do you think you could fix Mark, given half a chance? Like
Innie Mark or Outie Mark? Outie Mark, right?
Oh, they are the same guy. That's the...
Integrated Mark.
Yeah.
It's tough, because he's fucked up, you know?
Yeah, he has got some fucking demons, yeah. Especially in this episode, I feel like they slightly flare up a bit more.
Yeah.
I think I could fix him. Although, I feel like the route of like, let's get to the bottom of this, man, would be us like sharing a drink, which I think is like the last thing he needs.
Yeah,
So, like,
he does not need any more drinks.
yeah, absolutely.
He needs ayahuasca in a jungle in Peru.
Yeah, he
Like
just...
a full purge,
yeah.
He needs to start from the bottom. Although, like... as well for all listeners and watchers, this is spoilery. We feel like it's a 9-episode thing. It's been out for a few years now. I'm sorry if you haven't got around to it.
Also, why are you listening to this podcast if you
Why are
haven't
you
watched
on
it?
episode 3?
Yeah.
Why do you...
That's so true. Yeah. Just
Go
like
back.
that. I'll give it a go. And I was like, that looks like a cozy sofa. Maybe I can just watch this for a while. This week we're talking about episode 3, in Perpuity. There's a few things we get introduced to in this episode, which is the Perpuity wing, the PT's reintegration, and finally seeing the full horrors of the break room. Was there anything on this watch for you guys that hit you different, that you noticed, like, in retrospect, knowing where it's going and where it ends, that, like, really struck you and got you, like, hit you and got you into it?
I think it's just fueled my conspiracy theories a lot.
Mm.
Because I was rewatching it, and there's a scene where PT speaks to Mark, and he goes, your Innie could be doing murders. And Mark's like, is he? And PT's like, no, well, he could be. And I think that's foreshadowing for the fact that the numbers are the number of people they kill with drone strikes.
Oh, do you think that's what it is?
I think it's drone strikes, yeah.
I love it. We're coming in hot with theories. Yeah. You're like, I don't care what episode it is. I'll tell you, this is exactly what the numbers are. We haven't... Oh, killing with drone strikes would make sense, but also there's part of me which is like that Apple wouldn't let that fly. You know what I mean? They'd be like, we're actually too connected to that.
Yeah, they're too integrated into the whole sort of technology state, but maybe they're not.
I think it's either that or it's something that involves people dying. So it's either that or murdering like random people across the world.
Yes.
Like virus testing or like vaccination testing.
Because we've talked...
I'm not anti-vax.
We should just clarify.
What is in it? Like, that's an interesting one of it connecting to military stuff, because we talked about this in a few things where like we just don't... They're very smart in that they tell us nothing, and the scary numbers would make sense of connecting like office work to state murder kind of vibe.
Because what else would you need that level of... It's either that or aliens. There's no... Why do you need that level of classification?
I would love if they just masked off and it was aliens, like the end of Indiana
Oh my
Jones
God.
4. Where you're like, no way this should be aliens, but yeah, go for it, why not? Yeah.
Kia's little like room has a crystal skull in the corner.
Yeah.
Haven't noticed it yet.
Oh my god, when they're in the Perpuity wing and seeing that the head on that guy, I mean, I would believe it, where his head is big
Yeah.
and that with
Yeah.
the blown out thing. Yeah. That's just maybe the hairline. Have you changed, have you changed theories on the numbers? Or
I mean, so what really struck me on this watch is what, like, Kia, you know, they go in the Perpetuity wing, they have these, like, are they made of wax? The people?
Yeah.
And
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
You hope it's not paper mache. You'd like to think,
it's
yeah.
people.
The numbers are yeah, the numbers are just different batches of wax, and it's like, oh, so it's all just to be cool. All right, sick.
But when they hit his button, because they give a little speech. He says something about like taming the 4 tempers, and you know how they have the boxes. It made me think that possibly this is something that people have talked about before.
Yeah.
Online, but that it is something to do with like every project that they're on is someone's brain, that they're like lobotomizing, taking out those tempers which like are bad memories, are sort of like guilt, shame, so that possibly you could create like the ultimate soldier, like someone who's like, I don't feel shame or guilt or like low self-confidence, so I can just stab someone, or like or conversely the perfect like wife, you know.
Like that movie with Harry Styles.
Don't
Worry
Darling.
Yeah.
No, that has nothing to do with any of that actually.
No, like
it does.
like
Yeah.
Stepford wife thing.
Yeah. For a second I was like, have I watched that?
It is one of those movies where it's like, did I even watch that? Or like, did I just hear about it? And I was like, I think most things Harry Styles do, you can kind of ambiently absorb, whereas like, maybe I watched it, maybe I listened. He's just always around. I guess since we talked about the Perpetuity wing, I feel like on the first time I watched it, that was the moment where I was like, what is this show? Like, this is really throwing some creepy fucking shit out there. And I also just love the bit when Irving is like, she was the first woman CEO, as if that means anything to Helly, and she's just like, I don't fucking give a shit about that. I love that moment. It's very like, I feel like they really push. I didn't even clock the size of Kier's house, you know, when they go to the recreation of his house. I didn't really clock that was insane, I think, on the first time I watched it. It was like completely, it resonated in like a weird way that way. Yeah.
My favourite moment was when John Turturro turns to Adam Scott and he's like, Mark, were you about to do a bed sit?
I love the tons of phrases that they have where are so amazing, like sticky face and stuff. Like it really hits, I think, on this watch, like you were saying, like how funny it is, but also how little they're actually saying because they just don't know anything. It really like.
It's really weird, like, John Turturro in particular, I think, has some amazing turns of phrase.
Yes.
But, like, there's a great one when when he finds them playing bingo and he's like, this is not a bingo match.
It's not some kind of beer party. That's my favourite,
this slightly, like, off way of talking.
Yeah.
Because
it hit me, because with Irving, I was like, why is his dialogue or his diction so much more sophisticated than everyone else's? And I was like, oh, it's because he's read all the books. Like, he's read all the tempers, and he's, like, done his homework, and is, like, weirdly inspired by it, because he's like an artsy guy in real life. But I also feel like it moves so quickly, this episode, like so much. By the way, when you get to the end, when you're even starting with Petey, God bless, R.I.P. Petey, rest in Petey.
Well, if you've only watched up to episode 3, we don't know if it's R.I.P. Petey.
Maybe he's been okay, and Mark's just a bad friend. He just didn't follow up in the hospital. His death is gnarly too. It really hit, like, all the gruesome bits where like Helly gets caught in the glass, and it really, they don't shy away from it being life and death. I feel like on this watch. Last week, actually, Rhiannon, you were quite over PT. You were like, "No, I don't care about this guy. He's like a schlubby."
I just find PD so schlubby.
Yeah. Seeing him out for the count, were you like, "Yes, finally!"
Come on. You know, I did feel bad for him because I think dying in a like bathrobe in like a convenience store, like a petrol station, sucks. Like as a way to go, it's just so anonymous and like no one knows who he is. They're sort of like, "Sir, why are you being? Oh my god!"
Yeah, he just, and knowing he has a kid and stuff, it really hits. And this will sound pretentious, but I did like that it's coded like he's just a crazy guy in a shop yelling about something that's wrong, because I feel like, not to be too high-minded, but it's about work stress killing you or whatever.
For sure.
How do you feel about PT as a character? Did you have any, were you just kind of like...
Neutral.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's a good plot device. He's a great plot device. As a character, I don't think I have any sort of... It was sad, the funeral episode or whatever, that's really sad. Yeah. But
other than that, you were like, happy to...
Yeah, whatever.
We don't really... Yeah, we really don't know him, because they fall into this kind of Jedi and, like, Padawan kind of relationship where he's just like...
he's the Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and he's very comfortably... Or Mark is very comfortably just, like, listening to him, and they kind of... There's a slight thing, plot-wise, where you're like, yeah, I'll just go with this, sure. Yeah. There's, like, he doesn't know who this guy is at all.
Yeah.
And having him stay in his house... but yeah, it just really, it's just a real bummer when he goes, and the kind of gross way that he collapses, and you're like, oh shit.
The blood in his mouth and everything.
Yeah, it's really, and rightly so, he's terrified of Cobell. I was talking to a friend about Cobell recently, and he was like, I actually found it hard to watch that show, because I just find her absolutely terrifying. Oh man. Even though, again, if we're talking about phrasing, like from Irving's phrasing, she has some world star lines in this when she comes out and it's like, I'm just de-icing my stoop.
Oh my god, my husband like pointed out the same thing. He was like, stoop. You've got to talk about stoop.
she hits it like the Brady Bunch like skewl, and I love it. She's just nutty.
She's so evil that you kind of even. It's been a long time since I watched a TV show where I've hated... It's like Joffrey levels of hatred.
Oh,
Like, she does such a good job.
She really crushes it, and also it's just it's constantly awful, like, and like, uncomfortable to be around. Do you have any, like, other than Joffrey, like, do you guys have any other top 10 villains, or, like, that you would compare it to, where the visceral dislike or the visceral hatred really sprung up?
I have to have a think. I'm just because my big like show that I love, sort of like a big prestige drama, is Mad Men. But I think I love all the characters in that. Like even the ones who I think are like pieces of shit, I'm like, oh, but I love you, man.
It's another PT,
yeah.
There's a real sliding scale of PTs from Mad Men to Severance, of like
Peter. Oh god, I love that. Oh god, I love that.
There's gotta be Breaking Bad doesn't. It's really hard to find a villain that's like, I don't hate him in the same way because he's funny, but Homelander is a
Homelander, Well, Homelander is a weird one because that's an example in a show where, for me at least, I'm just waiting for him to come back, because like when he's doing the full every little like mouth twitch and like weird movement that he does, I'm like, oh, you just whenever he's not there, I'm just like, where's he gone? Come back. That's...
Honestly, probably one of the best actors on television at the moment.
It's crazy.
He's just so, like, inherently... Every time somebody does something and his, like, just his lip moves, I'm like,
He's great. I haven't watched the new season of that yet, but I'm gonna... That's next on... It's been a weird time because it's been so sunny, and also every show has got a new season coming out, so I'm like, I gotta choose between life and TV. Now it's getting rainier, maybe. I'll just like churn it through.
It is raining today, and it also rains in this zone.
Yeah, it does.
Yes,
I was watching the ending of it again on the bus on the way here. It was raining outside. It was raining on the episode, and I was like, I feel so sad.
You having a 4K Severance simulation. I'm like, I'm in the show. Like, I'm in it. Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever do one of those like secret cinema Severance things where
I
you
would
can
kill
go
for
into
that.
like
Oh, the
they build a
world.
Lumon?
Oh, I would actually no, because I was literally talking to someone about like what the best like, you know, like Hobbiton kind of thing, where they build the set. If it was a Severance one and you could go, I would actually freak out like crazy.
and
Love it so
then they
much.
roofie you in the elevator, so you know.
Oh yeah. They just
The
fucking,
full experience.
they just
The
fucking,
full experience.
they just like smoke in so it feels like and then do the whole thing. Oh, I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah.
Even if it was like a saw, like, you know, at Chessington when they do the saw maze and you go through and they like jump out of you and they if they
It's
did
just
that,
Milkshake.
it's just Milkshake chasing you. It's just a guy fucking pacing at you. Oh, I would kill for that.
Yeah.
Either that, I think that would be top 10, or I remember once I went to Orlando Studios with my family, and we went to, you pull around. I don't know if I feel like I told you, I can't remember if I told you about this on a podcast or if it was just in life. But they still have the Desperate Housewives Wisteria Lane set.
Oh my god!
You told me about
I was like,
this.
yeah.
I
I have 3 things I talk about, which is like the weather, Severance, and Desperate Housewives. And this one time I went to the Desperate Housewives set. I watched my stepmom, who is not a nerd, freak out so hard because she could see exactly where everyone had, like, I don't know, had a big blow up in the street.
Oh,
or
that's
whatever.
crazy. He
Yeah.
died on the doorway.
Yeah, the full 9 yards.
Oh.
I would be exactly the same.
I
with, oh my god.
would, for me, it would be, and I'm not ashamed to say this, if I've never been to New York, the first thing I would do if I went to New York is Sex and the City bus tour.
Oh, of course.
Immediately.
Of course.
Immediately. Like, I'm off the plane on the bus.
Yeah.
Instant.
Would you dress up like Carrie does as well and do the full
Oh
9
yeah,
yards?
spaghetti ballet skirt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretend to get
100%
mugged
ballet.
in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blanix.
I'd pay someone just to like splash me with the cab and I'd like flip my hair. Oh, all of it.
Which of the Sex and the City girls do you think would get a severed job?
Oh, Miranda for sure.
Miranda, yeah. What
Yeah.
makes you say that?
Well, her life sucks.
So she needs an escape more than
She
anyone.
needs an escape
yeah.
more than anyone else, and also she seems like the most sensible, well, the most financially minded out of all of them.
Yes, that's true. Because you have Samantha.
Samantha would blow someone in the Severance office for sure.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course,
sure.
yeah. Because she also just wants to focus more on banging, surely.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like, I don't want to work. I want to just focus on my downtime where I can get some.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would suck for her because she'd go and her severed character would be like, I've never had sex. Like,
Yeah.
possibly you can't even remember it.
Oh my god. See, this is another reason that Severance is a blight on mankind.
Yeah.
You couldn't remember
Yeah,
all the times you've had sex. I would love for her and Dylan to hook up. I feel like that would be... Although she would absolutely rock his world.
Yeah.
He has no idea what he's in for. If she won a waffle... If Samantha's Innie won the waffle party, she would not know. She would unlock a whole new side of her life. Like... Could you imagine, like, just... Because I remember... I'm sorry, this is so tangential, but I remember first time seeing the waffle party scene where you actually see... Where it's so freaky and so next level. And I just think Samantha would unlock... She'd absolutely dominate in that orgy or whatever the hell is going on.
You know what I find, what I was thinking about with the waffle party stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is this is set in the US, so everything, it's the most believable place to set a TV show like this. But
Yeah, that or
even
Russia.
in the UK, I think there's something genetic about the people from this country that even if you severed them, if you put them in an office where the celebration's a waffle party, they would burn it down.
Oh, yeah,
Like, where the fuck is the beer?
Yeah.
It would
What do
have-
you mean an alcohol-free? I will kill you and myself.
Oh, like it would have to, if you get hurt at work, it would be like a free thing to go to the Big Brew Dog in Waterloo.
Yeah.
Like, it would be.
That feels like a severed place to me.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%. Oh my god. As soon as you step into a brew dog, you forget where the outside world was. And then, it's very like, I'm trying to think. Actually, UK Severance, it is probably the one thing where seeing a UK remake would almost be like the reverse of the typical of like, UK would be so awful and like, just, it wouldn't hit.
I also, like, I don't think anyone in the UK would agree to have their brain severed. Because how would you remember the football?
Yeah,
Too much NIMBYism would be like, not in my brain, not in my brain.
Yeah, and we just love our mundane office conversations.
Yeah.
Just like, oh,
And also the
weather this weekend, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, it would be we relish. I actually have found I relish it way too much.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I get quite triggered watching the show because I'm just like, God, I used to be a receptionist a couple of years back, and I was very like, you say nothing to people as they
Yeah.
walk through. You're like, oh, and like that's it. It's like it's so watching them speak like that is so. That's actually a question, I guess, for the group. Have you ever had a job, an office job like that you would understand why someone would get severed for, where you are so brain off, just white knuckling through the day till you can get off? Like...
That's every single job I've had. But I wouldn't get severed for it, to do it, because it was really calming. Like being just like a nameless part of a group. Putting numbers in a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my life means nothing. Nothing means anything, actually. What are we on this planet for? I found that really calming. Just existential dread for 8 hours and then drink in the evening.
There's something about that.
Cool, dude. It sounds sick. Yeah. Sounds like inner peace to me. Yeah.
There is something about just working on like a spreadsheet and like knowing exactly what you're doing. Like, I've had a couple of jobs that are like that, and I've loved them. I've loved like working on a database. I've loved like all of that stuff where everything else I'm doing is just like irrelevant.
Yeah, you can lock in.
Yeah. It's the jobs where where you have to be much more sort of like plan your own time and like you're working on this project, but that's a much longer term goal. But you can be doing this thing, or you can be doing this thing, or you could be doing this thing. Like,
oh my god,
those kind of jobs, I couldn't be severed for that because I just so much want to like check my emails, like my own emails, or like
oh my god,
check the internet, like play Sudoku.
Oh, when they give you a job, when it's like, oh yeah, your opinion matters on this, you have to make decisions. So you're just like, oh my god, like if you say something, I think we should do this, I'm like, great. It's like, oh no, wait, hang on, that was just some shit I said. Don't do that.
Whenever they're like, oh, your opinion must influence this presentation or something, I'm like, in my head, automatically my first thought is, but I'm a woman.
Well, that's another thing, is like, in the Lumon offices, we've got Cobal, and we've got Helly. And we also meet the, oh god, what is her name? The
old woman from the OD.
Oh, we've got her.
You've got optics design, and you've also got in the wellness room, you've got Miss Casey.
Oh, who is his... Oh, spoilers.
Yeah,
who is his wife? Yeah, is
dead wife?
I guess not. I guess no.
Oh my
she's
god.
not. Yeah, she's alive.
When is season 2 coming up?
Soon. Have you seen the teaser?
No.
Oh, there's a trailer. There's a new teaser for it. It's told us nothing as ever, and
but it's exciting.
And it's so exciting. Yeah, I cannot wait. Like, I cannot believe this. This was actually because when it came into my life, that was the thing where like I'm so excited and so in this show.
Yeah.
I still am so grateful. There was a time in my life where a new episode of Succession would come on Sunday, sorry, and then and I could watch an episode of Severance on Friday, and I was like, this is the height of living. This is the best it gets. Like, brain off, data spreadsheet in a piece during the day, and just binging those sibilance shows in the evening. One thing I did want to mention as well, because was this episode, you also get a lot of Milchick, kind of the mask slipping of who he is outside of work. You see him when he's reading Rickon's book, and he's going like, oh jeez, this is great. And I love that. And there's a weird moment I had on this watch where I was watching thinking like, I would love to hang out with Milchick out of work. I bet is that kind of guy. I don't know if you ever meet someone at a party where they tell you what they do for a job and it is vaguely evil, but they're kind of like over it and they're just like, yeah, whatever, but that's just my job, right? It's not who I am. And it's like, I don't know, Ken. Like,
Maybe a little bit who you are.
Just you do 8 hours a day, you're torturing these people in the break room and you can see him like just chilling in the evening like, it's a living.
Just sitting with my poodle and my Chianti and just like trying to unwind.
I bet he is so a guy. I hope we do get to see some out of office Milchick next season, because I can so see him having a little, having a little project or doing like pottery or something.
A puzzle.
Yeah. I think he's a Lego guy.
Oh,
like, those Lego Star Star Wars.
Oh, oh my god. I bet it's not even Star Wars though. I bet it's just like really, just like a little train, like going around like it's a little village. Yeah.
Ski Electrics, that's who he is.
Because
Railways.
Scale, yeah, he's just, oh my god, 100%. Because there's a bit where when Cobell gets fired in the last episode and she calls him, he's like, they told me not to talk to you. And he's very like, there's bits where you can see he's frustrated because he's got a tricky job, man. He's got these innies running around, smashing shit and hating each other. And he's also very, very evil from this episode alone.
Sure. Yeah.
But yes, I feel like... Well, I've totally lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Well,
lost Milchick's train of thought.
I mean, in this episode, we really sort of see at least Helly pushed to her edge. I mean, because this is when she is trying out all those things to get her kind of out of this situation. Her Innie is trying to speak to her Outie through like coded messages. She gets her request to leave denied.
Yeah, it's a toughie for Helly this week.
It's a bad episode. And then, like, John Turturro shits on their bingo. So,
She can't even enjoy bingo,
that.
You know what I mean?
And that pushes her truly over the edge, and she tries to...
That's the lowest point for her.
I've only, just realised what she's trying to do when she smashes that window. Yeah. She's trying to, put her head through so that the Outie version of her will see it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I was like, why the hell is she trying to put a message through the...
Yeah.
But I get it now.
Yeah, it's quite... Helly is put in such a wretched situation, and she's such a righteous character. I mean, and continues to be.
Yeah.
And it really hits, I think, watching her in the break room go through that, just be knocked down. And it's like, I remember when that happened, I was like, holy shit, what's going on?
But it was almost like relief when you find out that she's actually evil, where I was like, oh, thank God.
She's
going through so much, where I was like, oh my God, this poor girl. And then you find out that she's a piece of shit. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
That's actually, that tees up a good question of who do we think is the most damaged out of the whole gang in the group? Because I think it's after the reveal, it's gotta be Helly for sure. She has got demons.
Really
she has got some fucking demons, dude. Like,
I always wonder about who I'd be if I was severed. You know what I mean? I'm really scared of the thought. I mean, it's never gonna happen. Fingers crossed, but...
Well, you were just saying how great it would be to just clock out at work and then drink in the evening. So that screams Mark to me.
Yeah, you're a Mark.
Maybe.
You're such a Mark.
I'm really worried.
We're inventing the same... Yeah.
But I'm really worried that if I was severed and there was the company got brought down and they released the tapes and I find out I'm John Irving.
Oh!
Where I'm talking about the Perpuity wing like such a loser.
Oh,
I'm oh, this is our leader, Kier. It would be the end of my life as I know if I found out that was who I was.
I'm such a nerd.
Oh, but it's not even a nerd, it's corporate LinkedIn core, this is my deepest motivation is to become a macro data refiner.
It's so interesting when you see him on the outside, spoilers, sorry, we're dancing around all the different episodes here, but when you see him on the outside...
You're half an hour in, stop, you're gonna ruin the whole show.
And you see all the painting, but also when he opens up that briefcase and you find his notes on different Lumon employees, because he's clearly he listens to metal, he's clearly a bit of a badass on the outside. On the inside he's just oh, Kier.
Well,
I feel he would be the most damaged if he found out who he was on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
He loses all punk cred instantly. Because I remember when he was in the wellness session and they say, your Outie has made love several times. And I was like, oh shit, so Irving fucks outside? He's the coolest guy out of all of them. He's trying to bring them down. I think he used to be in the army, right? That was
he's got that military stuff.
And he's gay, which probably makes him the coolest one.
Yeah, what if he's not a gay Outie? What if what if just his Innie is gay?
Maybe that would make sense because what if he was in the military and I know it's banned now, but there's a certain amount of repression in that, and the don't ask, don't tell in the Navy. So maybe that would be so. Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
Would that make him if your Innie is gay but your Outie is straight? Is that kind of bisexual.
Yeah.
I suppose so. Yeah,
I mean,
it's
Right?
We're in uncharted territory here. Like,
yeah, from the
We're
quiz.
seeing gender, sexuality in like 6 dimensions in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That would make it suck more though. Like if you were gay on the outside and straight on the inside, you're like, what the hell? Like, what the hell is going on?
I think
Like,
that's more embarrassing.
oh, 100%.
Because like
yeah.
everyone has gay thoughts, but having straight thoughts, that's
Oh.
really embarrassing.
And also, like, it's such their storyline, and I suppose we'll talk about it on more future episodes,
Yeah.
but it's such a tender
Yeah.
relationship they have when they're not even, it's so loving, and it's not even, because I think there's a thing, especially in this episode, because we meet the character of Natalie, who's also another woman in the group.
she's who I was thinking of, and I was
Yeah.
like, what is her name?
Which, actually, we'll go back to what I was going to say, because just briefly on Natalie, on this watch, the first time I watched it, I did not connect her to being the woman on TV with the woman in the office. Like, I
Yeah.
totally missed that because I don't know why. And it makes sense, though, because she's the sort of mouthpiece for them. So you could easily imagine them telling her what to say on the business calls and giving her all the info.
Who are the board? Because we don't see them. Are they
Yeah.
just like some heads in a jar?
Aliens.
Aliens. That would be cool if they were heads and jars, actually. That would kind of rock.
Also, that scene with her and
Cobell.
Cobell doing the board call, where she
yeah.
says, "The board has concluded the call." I was like, "Ooh, cunt, complimentary."
Yeah, easily. That's what I hope, because I saw there was cast announcements of Gwendoline Christie has actually been cast in the next season of
Ooh,
Severance.
Board. She's
So-
probably one of the board members,
Oh.
or she replaces Cobell.
That's what I'm thinking, but
Oh, she'd be so good.
that's where this should go, where there should be more cunt-offs in this show. Of, like, they should just be two, like, White Lotus style, like, saying the most cutting things you can, but in the most clipped speech. And Natalie is really going toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
Because you know in her ear, they're yelling, like, I so imagine that they're just like, shut up, that's not fucking true. And she's like, okay, cool, all right, great.
Oh, it's so poisonous. I love her.
Yeah, I do want to see more of that, I think. I want to see more of what the upper echelons of Lumon are like, because it's clearly a sprawling world that we just haven't seen.
Also, I was thinking about this, where it's on Apple TV, and The Office is so Steve Jobs coded.
Yeah.
Right? It feels like if they were like, oh, this is about Apple, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's so funny, because, and I think we should obviously chat shit about Apple, but ultimately doing on this is like, ultimately we have to talk to the people that work with them. So it's like, if they just, but I do think Apple's at that point where they can, the advertising narrative about them is so self-aware that they will, like, kind of just blow straight past it, and they're just, oh yeah, totally get that, dude. We totally see that Lumon's evil, but we wouldn't be like that. We're not like that.
I mean, there's so many corporate environments that are like this now, that are like, let's look back at like the history of our founder, and you know, Amazon is a bit like this. Jeff Bezos, he started out with just, he was working in his garage, and they even make like new hires at Amazon read the like letters that he sent to investors back in like 1996. But there is this kind of like, you can imagine that if they were severed, it would be like, come to the Bezos wing and check out Jeff.
For sure.
100%. I do think Amazon is a closer allegory of Lumon because of them being everywhere and having housing and like doing dodge stuff that no one can stop.
Drone strikes, allegedly.
Yeah, and again with that's what I love. We're gonna say the L word, the liminality of the Perpuity wing is so spooky, and hearing even his voice on the thing describing the tempers intercut with PT freaking out is so spooky.
But you're like wiped, because a lot of who we are as people is influenced by our memories and what we've been exposed to.
Totally.
So if they wipe all of that, are you just like blank slate?
Yeah.
So you have full room to be a complete loser.
Oh yeah,
Like fully buy into.
Yeah, because I guess you don't like. I mean, this is what makes later when they read Rickon's book like so revolutionary for them, because you
my
have to imagine
favourite.
they blocked out like the Bible or
Yeah.
like any other sort of like sacred text to any religion. So it's like, oh shit, people like have individuality and like souls, and they're not all like slaves to, you know, like the man.
Oh,
This is truly revolutionary, because we read Rickon's book and we're like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
like, this is bullshit.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite things, is that they're radicalized by this like neoliberal faux spiritual book. Because some of the lines they put in the book are so funny as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing as well, because I feel like when we talk about the show, we're always talking about it so creepy and eerie and weird, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like that should be the leading factor of like, oh no, this show is hilarious, and this is the most, like, even when they're walking and they have the back and forth in the group, the four of them, they play into the kind of office comedy of it really well.
Yeah.
Like, pull that off in a really
I'm
nice
gonna
way.
kill you.
Yeah.
I find that scene where they meet the optics department, and what's his name, Dylan, just goes off on them.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck you guys doing? He's so over the top.
I love that Dylan's just good to go. When he'll come down on you, he is ride or die.
He will fuck you up.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's the only one who's gone toe to toe with Milchick, man.
Yeah.
I want that rematch next season. Is there anything you want to happen in terms of where it goes from here, or anything that you would love to see a scene between two characters, or anything like that really you're excited to see or want to happen?
I want to see a final confrontation between Mark and Corbell, where
Yes.
like she's like, I know you're Mrs. Selvig.
I don't even. Yeah, I
I
don't
want to see
even.
that put like all the pieces come together for him.
Yeah, because Mark is on such a journey of standing up for himself and actually like taking control of his fucking life a little bit, and seeing how he reacts to Cobell and being so scared, that would be so satisfying to see.
I also want to see him find out that his wife's not fucking dead.
Yeah, oh
that
my
would
god.
I assume he is going to find out. Otherwise, they wouldn't have told us.
There's so much I didn't even think of. It really just. Sorry, I just remembered the final moment where he's screaming.
Yeah,
She's alive, and it's gotta all come together.
He has to go back into the office where he knows Miss Casey is there and that she's his wife. Like he has to.
Yeah.
There's so much. There's so much stuff to know.
Yeah.
I think I want to see. I want to see Milchick get his just desserts a little bit. I want to see him. I almost want almost Wizard of Oz style. That he gets carried away by a bunch of like underlings or something, and we're like, we did it, we beat him, and it's not going to happen. Yeah.
I'm just imagining there are munchkins working at Lumon now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. All the goats carry him away. That's what I'll think. Yeah.
I think someone else is gonna die for sure in the next season.
I think it's cool.
Maybe Milchick.
Maybe Milchick. I think he's the closest, because we've seen in the Outie world the revolutionary people. It's a few episodes down the line, but we've seen they kill pretty indiscriminately. Like they kill the security guy, and stuff. And I feel like that could happen. Yeah. But Milchick's is a fucking weapon, dude. He's in shape. Like
I think Patricia Arquette's gonna kill someone because of that scene. You can see her getting unhinged because in this episode she's like, "Don't make me throw my coffee cup at you."
Yes.
And then she does.
She's so, really
also another underrated, very funny scene.
Oh, funny. Also, the tone shifts between when Helly is trying to escape and they're having the scenes, and you can tell Mark is trying to be a boss, and then it shifts where he actually is a bit intimidating and a bit like scary. Not scary, but like he has the authority a little bit.
That scene where he finds out that she's tried to swallow the message.
Yeah.
That's also another funny scene where he's like, I recommend you tell him how long ago it was because we need to figure out which end to get it out from.
Yeah.
But that's the scene where I was like, ooh, daddy.
Yeah, he does.
No,
because, well, Adam
Scott.
The
background of a star.
Yeah. This is why I think it's Adam Scott's best role, because he does have those so funny, obviously, and also, but he also famously plays either very nice guys like in Parks and Rec or dickheads like in The Good Place or Step Brothers or Eastbound and Down. Like he has that douchebag element, and I feel like this is the first time you see him like coming together in one role.
What's the song that, this is so unrelated, but it's gonna drive me crazy, in Step Brothers, him and his family harmonize?
And the cat's, what is it?
In the car, right?
I'm never
It's
gonna
gonna drive me
remember it,
crazy.
but
I'm gonna have to
100%,
look it
yeah.
up.
If you showed that scene to any Mark, I think it would
Yeah.
completely destroy his entire
Oh,
life. I
but
think
he's
it would
never heard that
yeah.
song before.
Oh my god, no, yeah.
That become his
yeah.
favourite song.
Have they have no knowledge of movies, of films, of
No, nothing.
music?
If you, it's very like Plato's Cavey of like, if you showed them shadows on the wall, they would freak out, and like, yeah.
But they...
What's the song, you got it?
It's Sweet Child of Mine.
There
Yes.
you go, yeah. And you
Um,
know that would resonate for him too.
Yeah.
One of the things about the show that, like... I know this, I'm the loser in this situation, but I just want a little bit more... I know they're never going to give it to me, but a little bit more explanation as to how it all works.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I think way too much about it, I'm like, how do you disconnect, like sever, in a way where you're selectively removing...
Yeah. Knowing Delaware, but not like knowing
Right?
where you live.
Yeah.
You know what the fruits are, or you know what waffles are,
Yeah.
but you've never heard of Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
That's maybe what the numbers angle could be, that it is like a very specific, but that would be so, we've talked about it before, that would be so unsatisfying if they were
That
just
would,
refining the severed process, because it would be
Yeah.
like, they need to have
Why?
something bigger. They need
Because
to
if they're refining the stuff that they remove from their own brains.
and that's why they're scared, because they're losing key memories. That would make sense.
They're self-refining.
Yeah, because I reckon, we talked about it before, that the, you could play your own Lumon bingo watching this of the things we say. So liminality is on there. We've said this before. And Adam Scott is daddy. That's pretty much it. Those are the main ones. But the guy, so the pilot was first written in 2005 and then has been in development, and he has a 5-year plan, and and I reckon they've gone full Game of Thrones and have the lore of the entire thing in like a big Bible somewhere. So I do think, and I think it's sci-fi enough, or sci-fi world building enough, where they do have payoffs for certain things, and this does this and this goes there and that sort of thing. So I hope, I really just want to be surprised. I think
it makes sense that it was written in 2005 because I was watching it with my boyfriend who's a software engineer, and the one thing that really pisses him off every episode is he's like, you have the elevator that can literally wipe out part of your brain. Then you go into this office that looks like it's from the 90s with these pre-Windows
So weird,
XP
right?
computers.
it's such a mismatch of different types. Even the knowing the history of the Egans in the Perpuity wing and seeing them as like industrial people, like stuff from the past. It's so deliberately spaceless and timeless. Like kind of puts you out of it. Even remember, there's the scene when they reach quota and they get the little video game, and it's like a 90s style video game pop up telling them congratulations. Like they throw so much spaghetti at the wall, and he flies off.
It's just why, I wonder. There must be an explanation.
Yeah, I think it is just. I mean, this is. I noticed the number plate on his. You can tell this is like my 5th watch, but the number plate on Mark's car says, it doesn't have a state on it, and it says something like Restorum Omnimum, which means like cure of man.
Oh wow!
But like it does give it that sort of placelessness, and I was reading online, there's some people saying like, oh, this is not like a real state. It's not like set somewhere in the US. Like the state is it's written down somewhere as PE, which is not Pennsylvania. That's PA. Right. So it's like, where are we? And that kind of also precludes thinking about like, when are we? Because if we don't know where we are, we don't know like if this is normal for like this sort of
you
place.
don't really move out of even the convenience store, everything, like the whole town is built by them for their employees, right?
It feels like that, right?
Do you think that's also because they couldn't say it was in a set state because the state would get upset that people are having their brains split off?
We would never do that in our state.
That is not a Texas value. We do not condone that.
You can tell because it would never snow that much.
It's like there's like 3 Springfields and all of them tried to claim that The Simpsons is about them, and like it's just like, why would you do that? It's not a good state.
You could just create like a fake one, like Parks and Rec. You could create a fake one that's based on a real one.
Yeah, oh,
like a
definitely,
fake town
yeah.
in a real,
Yeah, because
You-
Pawnee's based on Muncie, Indiana.
Oh really? Because you just save yourself so much legal trouble
Yeah.
as well of like
Yeah.
just getting the state to sue
Yeah.
you and be like that couldn't happen. We're coming down to we have one question that we've asked every guest so far. What do you think the goats are about?
Animal testing, probably.
Yeah.
Aliens, they're feeding the aliens. No.
Yeah,
have no
like
explanation.
Torchwood style, just giving it in a room or whatever, and it's like a big Lovecraftian thing, and they
Yeah,
just
because
eat it.
Zulu
Yeah.
comes down and eats the goat.
Yeah.
Maybe they're, you know how there was that sheep
Dolly.
that they cloned?
Yes.
Yes, Glenn Moore brought this up.
Yes. Yeah.
So
It's-
maybe it's
I-
cloning.
I'm so thrilled that Dolly, the sheep, occupies a space in everyone's brain. Or like
Yeah.
they did clone a sheep that one time. That's pretty crazy.
Rest in peace, Dolly.
Yeah.
Love you.
Maybe it's like the Prestige.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would work because there's
Like
two
they
of
got
them.
like one of those Tesla machines.
Yeah,
Where they clone
Oh, I love that.
that would be pretty
But
cool.
are there multiple marks running around?
Maybe.
In his brain, there is. Yeah.
Maybe
it's
there's
pretty
an
good.
Innie and an Outie in this area, and then the Outie that Mark is the Innie,
Mhm.
and the actual Mark is an Outie. I don't know.
I mean, no, but nothing's off the table.
Yeah,
'cause we
it could
don't
be anything.
know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Fair play. We've said our
Said our
theories
piece
before.
on the goats.
The other thing as well was we see the real horror of reintegration and
Yeah.
the real kind of like dreamscape thing, which I am such a sucker for a dreamscape adventure. I wanted to ask, just by comparison, if there was any famous dream sequences or dream moments that you remember from other stuff that really resonated that you want to see it be like that, or are you just down for it to be this twisty, wild like setup where they're just like seeing themselves in a bunch of different places?
I am the exact opposite of you, where I really hate a dream.
Oh really? Are you more
Me
like?
too. Oh,
Man, yeah. This episode must have sucked for you guys. You didn't
No,
like trip out.
I completely lose patience with
I'm
them. Like,
so-
stop doing that.
Yeah.
Just
Is it
show
because
me.
it's not real?
What? There's a TV show, a community,
kind
I think, where Abed mentions bottle episodes,
Yes.
and I've refused to understand what that means, and it drives my brain crazy. Where every time a dream sequence comes up in a TV show, I'm like, oh, it's a bottle episode. And he's like,
Yeah.
that's not what a bottle episode is.
It means it just means the studio ran out of money. That's all it really means.
Yeah,
Like,
we cannot leave this location.
Yeah. But what is it? So what's your? Do you just hate?
I'm just
what
like,
is it about?
progress the plot. This is so
Yes,
boring.
Stop showing me him in different places.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I do wonder. I do think it's a slightly pretentious cinema bro thing of liking dream stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting my own insecurity into that.
Maybe. Like I don't think I love like interesting visuals.
Yes.
I just find it quite wearing when I'm like, is any of this real?
Yeah.
Because like
Like it
don't
was
show
all a
me
dream.
something. Yeah, don't show me something that's not.
Yeah.
Like
It has to be real.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck you guys. I'm excited for
Ending
it.
the
I
episode
don't
on
care.
like a really tense note where you're like,
Yeah.
you shit on my dreams.
like one of those podcast scandals, you know, when you watch a podcast like, oh shit, fuck me, that really went awry. I just like it because I don't know. It's like this. I feel like this is a particular one where it is having like your brain is actually breaking down, and it's
Yeah.
like potentially what you see before you die, and like he really doesn't know where he is. And from the teaser that we've seen, I reckon we're gonna see some of Mark dabble in some reintegration stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And no, it completely makes sense because literally, if it is spatially, although that is something that it suddenly occurred to me, you know, because they sort of say like Severance is spatially dictated.
Yes.
Well, we know it's not because
Yeah, because of Dylan getting
and because they in the last episode.
What is it? Overtime protocol. They call it.
Yeah.
The funniest name for it.
Yeah, so we know it's not spatially dictated, but I don't. Yeah, we need more law. We need more.
We need more law.
How
Give
does
us
this
more
work?
law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because also I feel like just from this episode, the amount of plot progression, you must have been dining out on the plot progression. There was so much happens
0
in this.
to 100.
Oh yeah, I think
so good.
they really because I think the first two episodes are very much like sort of soft soaping you into like this is what it is, this is how it goes, and this one like right, you got it. bam, like, yeah, we're going right for the hill, and like the even from the start of the season to the end, I reckon when the next season comes, we are going to go light years into because I think they know they've got. As we've the other L word of the show, the losers who are really into this, who are really down, are the nerdiest and like most specific kind of, I guess, like, another L word, like very, I guess, lefty adjacent losers that really love the lore of this, and Lumon. Oh my god, the L is really got a lot of stock on this
also
show.
Getting a lot of fans from Lost.
Yeah. Do you think he knew that? It was like, that's a weird industry point. I'm just like, they love using L words. Just get as many.
That's an interesting point, because everyone, I think, who would enjoy the show is a massive nerd. And most things that nerds watch, there's a lot of like tedious explanation. It's very interesting that and it's almost frustrating where there's so many things that I think about with this TV show, like how does the elevator work? How are they scanning inside of your body to read text?
Yeah, literally.
What is that?
There's a lot of slightly magical realism stuff, which I think if you which we've heard from your boyfriend, that like it does take you out of it a bit if you care about that stuff. I'm slightly more.
He's fine with it. I'm the one that's like, what the fuck?
That's too
Gabriel
beyond the pale.
Garcia Marquez bullshit is this?
Yeah.
Look at me. She reads.
Do we get that? Yeah. Don't cut that. Let them know I read.
If they just came out and were like, oh, it's magic, I'd be like, okay, fine, that's the explanation. It's magic.
Oh, I am so much more down for that. And again, Marvel. Is another very. There was a moment, I think, when they got to a certain point where they were just like, "There's magic, fuck it, who cares?" And I was very like, "Oh, thank God!" Like, don't pretend to give me all that made up science that is nonsense. Like, you're trying so hard to invent nonsense, and it's like, just take me there. Take me to the story.
I'd like them to give me if not an explanation, an answer. Because sometimes when they give you an explanation, it ruins everything. And one of my toxicest traits is I think the movie Arrival is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. I hate it. I hate that movie.
Why?
Because there's the
How could you drop this 5 minutes to the end of this recording?
Oh my god, we haven't got time.
That's like, wait, okay, I'm actually willing to hear this because everyone I know loves it, so I want to hear Denise
Because
Villeneuve.
the explanation is so flimsy. It's like,
Really?
she knew this because she knew it, so she knows it because she knew it. And it's like, it's so circular. It's not a proper explanation. Also,
But it's how the time travel works. It's how the alien came, right?
Time travel is another. I've never seen it. Well, Tenet can go fuck itself.
Yeah, okay, no, I'm bored with you on that. Because Tenet is the most. It should be fun, and it's so not fun.
I had a headache by the time I finished that movie.
But also, it's not satisfying. You get to say, oh, I figured it out. Okay, cool. So it's like, what?
Let's think of Interstellar.
I love Interstellar, to be honest.
I fucking hate Interstellar.
We could not find any common
ground here today.
Yeah.
Take another Dark Knight.
Yeah. Just do the Dark Knight again.
I love the Prestige. I love the Prestige.
Prestige is great. And a little bit, well, not underrated maybe, but I think in his canon now.
I think Prestige is his best movie.
Yeah.
Hot take.
I think he is better when he's not doing
sci-fi
tropey stuff. When it's I mean, proven by Oppenheimer, I guess.
Exactly.
But although I met some friends of mine hated that as well, so I quite like. And also, I do back you on hating Arrival because sometimes it's like you gotta hate what is popular. You know what I mean? Like, we're just like, I just didn't get it. It's not for me, and I don't have the time for it. But okay, wait, let's just list off all the sci-fi things that you, so it was like, no time travel.
I like time travel, I've just never seen it done, like, controversially, Time Traveler's Wife, great time travel, because they don't bother about, like, the science bit, they're just he loves a child, or whatever.
See, I weirdly don't think of that as a sci-fi in the same bracket, it's very much like a fantasy, although I wish... That movie is very much a movie where the concept is so great and then the execution is very frustrating. It's like, this could be so interesting.
Because when you read the book, you're like, oh, this is so lovely. And then you watch the film, you're like, oh, wait, he is talking to a child that he is going to be in love with.
Yeah, he's just arrived,
it's
like,
a little
naked.
Spooky. Yeah, what the hell? They all thought... Because that's not like, oh, it was the past. This was, what, 2008? That's like 2010? Like,
when you read it in the book, it's like, oh, cool, skimming past. And when you watch it in the film, you're like, oh.
That's middle-aged
Totally.
man.
Yeah.
Do you have any tropes like that take you out of a sci-fi when it doesn't make sense or anything like that?
I don't really have any like hard and fast tropes. I just have a lot of impatience with like over scientific things. Like I would much prefer they were just like, we don't know how that works, or like magic, or rather than being like, well, you see, it's because of the quantum waves.
Yeah.
We can reposition ourselves in the.
It's always an English actor doing an American accent.
Yeah. Like in English, please.
Yeah.
And then they
What's
do a
wrong with you,
diagram.
Doc?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's why Fast and Furious, best science fiction movies of all time.
Yes, I was wondering how
Nothing is
long it would
explained.
take for you to talk about how great Fast and Furious was.
The best movies of all time.
Yeah. I think that's valid. I think, and they're gonna outlive all of us. They're gonna do like a multiverse reboot and go for the 20. They're gonna go for that.
I'm gonna be in my 90s watching Vin Diesel surprisingly still alive.
Oh yeah. What else does he have at this point? He's not doing Triple X again. He's not doing it all.
Triple X is so disappointing because you just think it's gonna be another Fast and Furious, and it's just not.
Yeah, I had that with The Last Witch Hunter, which I should have known going into that.
Oh god, I forgot he was in that.
I'm locking in on Vin Diesel's career. Yeah.
You know what he is really good at? The Pacifier.
I can imagine.
Wait,
No, the Pacifier? No.
I think it is called The Pacifier.
Is that not The Rock?
Is that when he's looking after a kid? Is it like it's the classic like muscle dude with a baby kind of vibe?
Is that? No, I'm pretty sure that's Vin Diesel.
Okay, The Pacifier. I know exactly the film, and I can probably picture the poster.
For the listeners, this might be how we're going to end it, which is Googling.
Okay, it has a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Honestly,
fuck Rotten Tomatoes, they don't know.
Such a good movie. Would recommend.
No,
Okay,
so,
thank
alright.
you.
So, if you took anything away from this, fuck time travel, Pacifier forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like Severance, you might like The Pacifier.
If you want to have like a spa day after your brain has really been rocked. Shalaka, is there anything you want to promote before we finish up here?
No, follow me on Instagram.
What's the app?
Oh, sorry, at Shalaka Kurup.
I'm trying to help you out. yeah.
It's at my name, which will be somewhere in the podcast.
Oh, we'll tag it.
Oh,
We'll put it in either the bio on the YouTube or
You might
everywhere.
even put your name in there as well. Or...
Yeah, who knows? Maybe. Yeah, we'll just put Vin Diesel.
Can I make requests?
Please, yeah.
Shalaka Kurup loves The Pacifier.
Sweet,
That's
done.
the name of the episode.
That's the name. All right, you had it. It's like a reveal. It's like the end. It's like the end. It's like, and she was the time traveler's wife. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, thanks so much. We love this show so much, and we just want to give it more promo. Really, we want everyone to be locked in. If you have any theories, send them to us on the Instagram. Send a comment. We want to hear. And nothing is too outlandish. Nothing is too crazy. Please do follow Shalaka Kurup. She is so funny. It's amazing stand-up, amazing clips. And you can check out Loser of the Week as well. If you loved designating loser chat, as we've had some of this, you'll love this TikTok series. Check it out. And yeah, give us a review. If you like what you're listening to, it helps us find more people. 5 stars is the best one. If you want to give it a 1 star, it's funny a little bit, but maybe don't if you don't want to. But do keep listening. Join us next week. We'll be talking about episode 4 and getting into more, finding out what Defiant Jazz really is and getting into the ins and outs of everything. As ever, this has been the Innie Outie cast. I've been Daniel McKeown.
I've been Rhiannon Shaw.
Stay integrated.